All right, good morning, everyone. We obviously have a lot to get to this morning. We'll be brief, though. We're going to have a little bit of an abbreviated podcast this morning. Welcome to Aired Out. I'm JD Green. You got us. We're live from Fly on the Wall Productions, North Main Street in Barrie. Always live, never edited. And as always, we try to keep it real and raw, relevant, relatable, and yes, even responsible. Good morning, Glenn. First out of the box this morning. Again, thank you so much for tuning in and supporting Aired Out. Thanks to our presenting sponsors. Man, we've got just some awesome ones. Town of Berlin has been added to the list, and we're going to be talking about them so much here over the next couple of weeks, couple of months. We can't wait. There's so much happening in Central Vermont. And, of course, Associated General Contractors of Vermont, we've chatted with Dick Wabi. There's a lot going on. That huge job fair that's coming up on April 20th at the Champlain Valley Expo. You're going to hear an awful lot more about that as well. This morning, first of all, let me tell you right now that we are definitely going to be talking about weather. And Roger Hill is saying that we've got some pretty good weather that's going to be coming into the picture in the very near future. Mainly, it looks like Monday night into Tuesday, with possibly two more snowstorms before we really start getting into some more spring-like weather, but a possible sap run on Saturday. I want to bring in Jim Severance right now. Jim, are you there?
I am here. Good morning.
Oh, my God, buddy. It's great to have you on Aired Out. Listen, first off, thank you for spending a couple of minutes with us this morning. What in the hell is going on in local sports? My God, what a night last night. I can't even keep track of this. I mean, this is unbelievable. Tell us, you were doing the call last night for CVTsport.net, right?
I was up at UV. I'm up at the gut, and you can probably hear right now a little bit of hoarseness. Do you hear that in my voice right now? A little hoarseness?
I was wondering if you were going to be, yes. Oh, my God, buddy. What happened?
It was just, I've been broadcasting high school hockey, on and off the last probably 11, 12 years straight. So, I've seen a lot of high school hockey games. I've been up to, the gut for numerous finals, but I had never seen a hockey game and described it on CBTsport.net that had just that dramatic ending that we witnessed last night for the U32 Raiders. I don't know. Have you talked about it all on the air? Or
you're the first one out of the chute this morning. Of course, we had some coverage of it last night on the Aired Out page, and my phone was blowing up, and I was getting a lot of texts, but. No, you're the first one out of the chute with what happened last night.
Well, I'll set the scene for you. First of all, the U32 boys hockey team, all this season, they've kind of had the dramatic flair for a big third period, fall behind, get the goals late, and come up with the victory. That's been the story for U32, especially the second half of the season. Just, a strong third period team.
Yeah.
So in the game last night, third period, U32 enters the third. They're down 3-1. The old saying in hockey is when you're down by 2, the next goal is huge. That's what, everyone will say. Well, midway through the third, Raiders get a goal. So now we've got a 1-goal game. U32's down by 1. Time is running down in this one. U32 had pulled their goalie. They pulled Matthews out of the net. I think they pulled him with about 45 seconds ago. They're putting on some pressure. However, Mount Mansfield, MMU, clears the puck out of the zone. Raiders have to get it back in. Now, when you're broadcasting from the gut, and I'll give you an idea of the perspective that I had with Jess Hill. Jess did the game with me last night, and she is also still hoarse, I'm sure. But to give you a perspective of us, we're in the press area that looks over the rink. So what happened in front of us, we had great vision on it. So the Raiders, with time ticking down, there's maybe about 5 seconds to go. They're down 1 goal. They get the puck in the near side boards to a Brendan Tedeschi, and Tedeschi does what you have to do. I mean, it's desperation. Time is running out. He throws it toward the front of the net. Ty Rossmassler tips it in with half a second to go in regulation. Raiders tie it up, and of course, the Raider fans go crazy. We're going overtime. So then,
God.
JD, you got to kind of, first of all, you're kind of in the frame of mind as a broadcaster. Okay, you got to get that one final shot on net. Are we going to have any chance? And then, my God, the puck goes in the net. You know, describing the game, you can't believe it, because all of a sudden we're going OT, and of course the U32 side is going crazy. The Mount Mansfield side, you know, they have their hands up on their head. They can't believe what they just saw.
You couldn't believe what you just saw.
Well, on your podcast, I could probably tell you what. Let's say I was in the crowd and not broadcasting and just with like a couple of buddies. I mean, I would have said, holy shit.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
as a broadcaster, you try to keep restrained on that. I know when the puck went in, Jess, you know, she can't help it. She's a huge U32 fan, you know, and a good broadcaster too. She basically just, you know, you could hear her cheer. But anyway, we're going to overtime. We haven't won the game. It's going OT.
First OT.
Yeah, the first OT. So through the overtime period, it kind of seemed like U32 definitely got stronger. Both teams had really good chances. And you got to give hats off. The U32 goalie, Matthews, was very good. But the goaltender for MMU, Declan Heaney, was just standing on his head and stopping everything. Because U32 did have better chances in the first overtime. But the first overtime was scoreless. So we go to the second overtime. Not a ton of penalties in this game, but second overtime, I think it was at the 8-minute mark, U32 called for a penalty. So there you go. MMU goes on the power play, chance to win the game. And U32 Raiders fired out towards center ice. Brendan Tedeschi picks up the puck. Tedeschi comes in shorthanded on a breakaway, makes his move, tucks the puck in. U32 Raiders are state champions, and U32 fans just went nuts there. Just I've never seen that storybook ending for U32 fans where they tie it. It was really half a second on the clock, and then they win it in the second overtime period with a short-handed goal.
You know, just a few nights ago, I think it was Tuesday night, I had Coach Shane Locke and Corey Galander and Corey Robbins aired out here with Hazen Stouffer, Shane Starr, and Duncan Matthews. And these, I mean, obviously we were talking about the fact that they haven't been to the finals since 2016, I think, Jim, right?
Yeah, I called that game in 2016. They also come from behind victory where they beat Stowe. But yeah, that was their last state championship year, was 16. And I'm sure those guys told you that their freshman season, when they were young, they didn't win a game that year.
Right. And Shane, Coach Locke, was also saying that, and it more than once, that the storm's been brewing. These guys knew that they were going to have these players coming into their senior year, and that it was going to be a strong year. But it was a hard loss to, I think it was Shane Starr that was on the injured list, and they had a hard loss to, was it Hartford?
They lost, actually, they lost 2 games in the season. They lost to MMU, I believe it was back in January, 4-0, and then they lost to a D1 school. I think it was South Burlington.
Yeah, that 4-0 loss was I think the very end of January, the 28th, I believe, without Shane Starr, and they just wanted it so badly, and these boys, I don't know if you got a chance to see them that night, but they all were, you could tell they were hungry, but you could tell that they were all just trying to stay calm.
Yeah, no, I mean, you have to stay calm to have the ability, first of all, to throw that puck toward the net to tie it with,
Yeah.
half a second left in regulation. And it's funny, everyone, you do the game on what you call press row there, but everyone was just stunned with that. I'm next to the local 22 reporter, he's getting ready to file his report that, MMU had won the D2 championship. He has to change his
Jeez.
story. Jamie Bigham is writing his newspaper article. Oh, we got to change this one. Game's still continuing on. Our crew at CBTsport.net, I mentioned Jess Hill doing the broadcast, a great job. Sammy Tucker was our cameraman. His brother plays for the team. He was jumping up
Wow.
and down. It was just crazy.
Wow. And of course, Carl Parton. We love you guys. I mean, we're so lucky to have CVTsport.net. I mean, you remember when Carl started this up a long time ago, and it's just so fantastic, and we're all so lucky to have you, man, to bringing sports to the eyes and ears of so many of us in Central Vermont.
Yeah, Carl Parton, basically people don't realize how much time he invests into this. Carl Parton is not on the Forbes 500, list of the most rich CEOs out there. He does this because he loves local sports. He loves the games. I mean, he has to staff all these games. I feel fortunate a chance to do it.
And
Hockey is something that I enjoy, and
yeah,
getting the chance to see these games was just amazing. And the chance to see 14 seniors. In high school hockey, to have 14 seniors in this
yes,
day, that's unheard of. Maybe Essex might, but I mean, nobody has 14 seniors on their squad anymore in high school hockey, especially in D2. And for U32s to go out like this, and it's funny, after the game, it's like nobody wanted to leave. I mean,
right.
they hand out the awards, the team skates around, photos, they carry the trophy, they crash the glass, to their fans. And it's like no one wanted to leave Gutterson's Fieldhouse. But certainly an amazing season for the U32 Raiders, one they'll remember forever. And I just had a blast calling that game. It's, as I'm calling it, I'm seeing it happen in front of me, and I'm almost like, I don't believe this.
Yeah. Yeah. These guys, Gilly and Robbins and Locke, they've all been skating together their whole lives and have all played in local high school teams since they were kids. So they understand the passion and the hopes and the dreams that come along with a win like this. They really do.
And it really was a team effort. We mentioned, I've talked most about the 2 goals by Brendan Tedeschi and Ty Rossmassler, but Colton Warren scored in this game. Hazen Stouffer scored. But, mentioning the names, it's such a team effort. The D played well. Duncan Matthews played well. And, MMU had some chances in overtime, too. One of their top players, Alex Brown, had a couple of chances to end it. And, Duncan Matthews was there. But, as a hockey fan, regardless, there were some hockey fans there. You looked at the jerseys from Essex and the Champlain Valley that just came out.
Sure.
To see a hockey game. They don't care who won the game.
Yeah,
they
right.
were treated to a gem at the Gut last night.
And how about the Spalding girls, Jim?
I know my week has just been, you jump from one game to the other, and you kind of stay, I was so focused on, broadcasting the Spalding girls, which is another amazing story. I mean, they get the D1 championship, a team that has 5 seniors and 5 eighth graders, and you get 2 goals in your championship game from 8th graders. High school hockey has changed, but no, the girls' season was amazing. They come back into town. They got that little parade through town with the fire engines after it. And no, that was a great story too.
Incredible. I don't know how you're all doing it, man. It's like, it's not like we've got a 1,000,001 sports broadcasters. You're all working overtime. I don't know how Carl does it, working a full-time job. You as well. You got Lori Shepard, you got Tanya McCauley, you got Garrett Sicily. Who am I forgetting? Who else is making up?
Jess Hill helped out with hockey. We've got producers that help us out. Whenever I do this, I'm going to forget a name, but Sammy Tucker was on camera last night.
Brent Curtis.
The Mansfields, Todd Mansfield, Hunter Mansfield, Kenneth Brousseau, Ben Brown. I know I'm going to forget somebody, but we enjoy what we're doing. Oh, I can't forget Mr. Barry, Michael Deering.
Yes, of course, Michael Deering.
He was up there doing camera for the girls' game, and he was jumping up and down also.
He loves it, man. I mean, he loves it so much. So, have you had a chance to catch any basketball? Have you been calling any hoop?
I haven't called any hoop. I did go over to the Montpelier Spalding boys game, and I watched that one. That was kind of, I don't have, basically I love to see Central Vermont win, so that was a tough one for me, honestly. Wasn't really rooting for the Solons or the Tide, just for a good game. Now I'm going to root for the Solons to win it all, but I'm just kind of I'm your Central Vermont fan. And, the year Harwood played for the hockey championship, I was rooting for Harwood. I just like to see the local teams do good, and it doesn't happen every year, but we got it this year.
Oh my God, I know. Tough loss for the Spalding boys the other night up at the Odd.
Yeah, I did go to that game. Yeah, that was a tough loss. It's a game that I'm no expert on basketball, but it had its spurts, and you thought maybe Spalding was going to go on a run. Montpelier got a quick jump early, but Solon's had it down the stretch, and they get to go to that championship game.
Shep is going to be very busy here over the next couple of days. She's telling me noon tomorrow she's going to be calling the Division 4 Rivendell, Vermont, looks like Mid-Vermont Christian number 4, Rivendell number 2, and then at 3:45 the Division 3 number 1 Winooski against number 2 seed Hazen. Hazen is the defending state champ. And then 7:30, Division 2. Looks like number 3, North Country, and number 4, Montpelier. Montpelier's is the reigning back-to-back Division 2 champs. That's going to be an interesting one. Which one are you going to be calling?
Well, Saturday night for me, it's a tough decision because I'm the hockey guy, and guess what else? Also
we got
Saturday night,
we got Kreitzberg.
I'm not going to go over to the lake, but I don't know if I'll go to the basketball game and maybe watch my phone, or I haven't really decided yet. But yeah, Norwich Plattsburgh State. I was talking with Craig, who he actually did the streaming broadcast last night up at the Gut for the high school game, and he's calling the Norwich game, and that's going to be an exciting one as they play Plattsburgh State, as Norwich got the at-large berth, so they get a chance to play for a national title. We'll see what happens. So I haven't made that decision, hoops or hockey on Saturday. But I tell you, if you're going to go to the Montpelier basketball game, go online with the tickets or get them early, because that place is going to be packed on a Saturday night at the Odd.
Jim, what's the best way for folks watching, listening right now to catch some of these games through cvtsport.net?
Well, you would probably
obviously get on the page.
Yeah, this would be a question that maybe Carl Parton could answer, because there are restrictions through the high school hockey season up until the quarterfinals. Everything that we do on cvtsport.net, all the games that we have done, are all available free on Carl's website. But once you get to the quarterfinals and up, including the state championship game, they are on NFHS Network. I believe I'm saying that right.
Yes. Yeah.
And so I don't know, to be honest, if Carl's allowed to show those on a delayed basis. That's a Carl Parton question. I can't answer that one.
Sure.
We basically do the games for Carl, and our Spalding girls game is going to be shown on CBT's on the channel 192 on the Barry cable. Whether it's available for streaming, I'm not sure.
Okay.
But I do appreciate Carl, getting us up there, because Carl did not have the rights to the hockey finals streaming broadcast, but we were able to carry it for the local fans.
Yeah, thank God. And we're so blessed to have cvtsport.net and Carl and you and everyone else that calls. Y'all do such a great job, man. I'm not sure how you do it. Michael Deering running the camera. Oh my God. Wow. Jim, so great to have you on. Please come in here sometime and sit down with us and have some fun. Shep and Macaulay are going to be back in here soon. Carl, I would love to get in at the same time, and you, and we could all sit around, and when this is all over and said and done with, we can catch our breath and maybe go back and recap some of the highlights and reminisce of our recent past, of the way this sports season is unfolding here.
All right. Well, it sounds good to me. I think for right now, the short term, I am going to get myself another cup of coffee. This voice is, it's still a little bit on the hoarse side, but no, I had a blast doing hockey this season. And yeah, as a broadcaster, it's kind of, it reaches a stage, the championship, and boom, it's gone.
Yeah, exactly. Well, these U32 boys, they knew that it was high tide. It was now or never, and they pulled it off. Incredible. Thanks, Jim.
They buried it. I don't know what my goal called, but I think it was something like Tedeschi in for a breakaway scores. I mean, my voice went up at least that high, and Jess's went another 2 octaves higher.
I'm sure. Jim, thanks for your time this morning, pal.
Hey, no problem. Take it easy, JD.
All right, buddy. Over and out. Jim Severance calling last night and just on top of the world. I mean, we're just so excited. I must admit, I've gone back and rewatched some of the highlights a few times, and even if you are not a sports aficionado, you just can't help but be just overcome with excitement and joy. I'm going to try head coach Shane Locke here this morning, but I don't know what I'm going to get, but I'm going to try him.
Good morning, JD.
Oh, my God, he answered. How are you?
I'm doing well, I think.
Talk to me, man. Tell me.
Oh my gosh. So I'm going to start with this. Next week, we need to set up a time to come back onto your show.
Yes. Absolutely. My God. Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you very much.
Are you alive? Do you know where you are right now and which end is up?
I'm at home, and but it still hasn't completely sunk in. Matter of fact, just as you were calling, my wife and I were just looking at a bunch of pictures and videos of last night because their stuff is posted all over the place, and just reliving it from different angles and visions from different people and whatnot. It was, I mean, that's the stuff that's after the game, but the game itself, never experienced anything like that before.
Well, we just hung up with Jim Severance. He was just live on the air with us, and you know he's been calling major sports games and championships at everywhere, and you know, of course, at the Gut for decades. He's
right.
never experienced anything like it last night.
That's pretty much the words that I've heard a lot of folks say. Never experienced anything like that before.
Tell us about Ty. He had one hell of a night.
Ty Rossmessler. He did. He had a heck of a night, and he was the player with just under 2 seconds left. Put us into overtime. It was about 13 or 14 seconds left. They dumped the puck into the neutral zone. It went back in. It got over onto I call it on the right side from where we were on the bench. And with about Oh gosh, it had to have been like 3.5, 4 seconds left, and Brendan Tedeschi just threw it out in front and onto the net, and it bounced right in front, and Ty was right there to bang it in. And I looked up at the clock, and I saw that it was just ticking from 2-1. And I looked over at the ref, and they called the goal. Everybody's going crazy, obviously. But the ref was standing in the middle, standing in center ice, and the other two refs were over at the score table, and I couldn't figure out what the heck they were doing. Were they like checking to see if there was enough time on the clock when the puck went in? And what they were doing was they were trying to figure out how much time to put back on the clock, but it was a goal, so it was a little nerve-wracking there for a moment. Yeah. That was pretty incredible.
And Hazen Stouffer got one in the net.
Yeah. Yep. So Colton, excuse me, I'll back up. Colton Warren scored our first goal like shortly into the beginning of the second period. Hazen got the second goal. It was a backhand right in front of the net. He came in from the corner, and he was trying to make a pass at first, and then he just said, "Well, I'm going to take it to the net," and he took a backhand and put it right by him. Ty got the third goal, and then we went into first overtime, and that was pretty impressive. The boys were buzzing, and they just took they took control of the game. They really did. The U32 boys, and then they got into the second overtime, and Shane Starr had gotten a penalty, and Brendan, it was a loose puck on our defensive blue line, and he chipped it around their defender, went in and deeped from left to right, and slipped it. You've probably seen the pictures. He slipped it past the goalie on the right-hand side. We still had 45 seconds left on the shorthanded, so it was a shorthanded goal. I think it was 6:41 left in the clock on the second overtime, and then the place just went absolute nuts.
God.
Yeah, crazy.
Direct reflection of you and Gilly and Robbins. You've taught these boys well, and you gave them all of the knowledge and the skills, but also you've taught them how to be composed and be calm under great pressure.
Yep, they in between. Well, their biggest thing, as we talked, earlier this week, was one mission. And now it's one mission accomplished.
Yeah.
All they talked about was, we need to finish this. We need to finish what we started. And between the periods, that's all they talked about. And they talked about how they were going to do it. They knew they could do it. It was just a matter of getting on the ice and like I said, taking care of business. And they just dug. They were gritty. They just dug deep.
They had 14 of them out there on the ice, Coach. My God.
Yeah, 14. That's 14 seniors. That's right.
And we've waited 7 years for this opportunity to get to the finals and win.
That's right. 2016 was the last one, and they had one in, I believe, 2020. They had 2014 as well, but yes, it's been since 2016. That's correct.
What's Gilly saying? What's Coach Robbins saying this morning?
Yeah, and Coach Roy Schiff. All of us over there. Matter of fact, this morning we had a little text messages going on a little bit, and basically the thing was like, holy crap. It still hasn't completely sunk in, and we just, because we're all like, we know what we lived,
Yeah.
but we haven't had a moment to like. We all want to watch the game over again
Sure.
and whatnot. And right now things are just buzzing all over the place. Um, and but yeah, we're smiling ear to ear. Let's put it that way.
And the atmosphere at school, I can't even imagine.
I can't imagine what it's like at U32 in Montpelier right now.
Tell me about your principal and what his hairdo is looking like this morning.
I think I saw a picture on I think I saw it on Instagram this morning from the U32 Pep Squad. They have a page, and there's a picture of him with his hair. I heard, JD, that actually he had it done professionally the night before, so the boys had brought the stuff in, but he already walked into school with it.
It was already done.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, Coach Robbins told us that night after practice. It was like, oh my gosh, really?
I gotta see the picture, and I'll find it and we'll get it posted up. But
yeah, there's one of him at the game last night that they had posted. Yeah.
Coach, bring all 14 of them into the studio. I don't give a damn. Let's do this at some point, and whenever that point is right and the time is right, and you all have literally caught your breath. Man, I would love to have you all back. It would be.
Well, it came up. It came up last night with the I don't know, after midnight at some point. It came up, and we were like, yes, we got to go back and see JD, and we're with the coaches, the four of us, my wife, and I said, yeah, we'll be in touch with him. We'll, either next week or we'll figure out a time. But yes, absolutely, I will. Well, the invite will go out to all the boys and all coaches.
We are so excited for you. We are so happy. This community is just beyond ecstatic. And my God, I mean, look at the girls on Wednesday night over at Spalding. I mean, holy shit, man.
Yeah. Yeah. They, oh my gosh. Yes. It's, I think I saw, folks are just talking about how Central Vermont just is, they're just uplifted.
It was a late night last night when you got home, but was there any kind of reception for you bringing the bus back?
So my wife I have you on speaker. It's okay. It's just my wife and I right here. And you said late night, and she goes, let's see, that was in the morning. Cause
yeah,
we got, so we did. Yeah. So we came back into Montpelier, and we actually there was a bunch of our fans. They were that were on in Montpelier right in front of the State House, and we came through the bus and cars and horns just a honking and blaring, and we didn't have the fire engines or the cops or anything, but we woke up everybody in the city of Montpelier, and then it was I was actually my wife and I took our car, and I followed the bus all the way back, and it was kind of a neat looking to me. It was a neat scene. We were going up Gallison Hill up to the school, and I looked in my rearview mirror, and I'm not kidding, JD. There must have been 15, 20 cars behind me, and it looked like Field of Dreams.
That's so cool.
In my rearview mirror, it was just so cool. And then the boys. I don't know where the boys headed off to, but they had some places that they were headed off to and going, and the coaches got together, and my wife Kristen came along, and what did we get home about 4 a.m? Yeah, we got home at 4 a.m. Wow. Let me get up at 6.
Did y'all sit around the kitchen table and have a shot?
We all pretty close. We had a couple brewskis, I'd call it. That's really what we did. Yeah.
Coach, we're so excited, man. Please pass on our congratulations to Gilly and Coach Corey Robbins and the rest of the players. And, man, we've got some microphones that are all warmed up for you and ready for you anytime you guys are over here.
I will be in touch, and we will come up. We will set that date and time for that to take place.
Awesome. Big ol' attaboy to all of you guys, and thanks for hopping on this morning, Coach.
Absolutely. Thank you, JD.
All
Take
right.
care.
You got it. Coach Shane Locke, U32 Raiders. Those guys were just on the air with us a few days ago, Tuesday, as a matter of fact, in the days leading up to last night's incredible D2 championship. We're so excited for them and so happy. And thanks to Jim Severance for hopping on with us this morning as well, who was there calling the game. Michael Deering was there as well, running the camera. I'm sure we're going to be hearing from him at some point as well. But we're so happy. We're just so happy. The whole community is. Really wanted to highlight that this morning more than anything else, because I think fair to say that you can open your phone, you can flip through the paper, you can see and hear on the TV plenty of news and stories that are not so great. But to find something that is so heartwarming and so wonderful and makes you feel so good, to find a happy story like this is something that deserves any and all of our attention and time. So we have to tip our hats, and we have to salute not only the players but the coaches, the entire administration at U32 and Spalding. And schools everywhere, even schools that have not won, whatever their sport is and whatever their championship was. They've all tried so hard and have succeeded regardless of what the final score is, at least in the eyes of many. Thanks, everybody. We are watching and listening to and paying attention very closely to Roger Hill, a Vermont meteorologist, who's talking about, I think he calls them bookend storms. And this one that's coming Monday night into Tuesday could be involved with some mixed precipitation, causing for some real slick spots on the roads. Travel on Tuesday morning could be challenging. Please take your time, allow extra time getting to where you need to be coming into Tuesday morning. But looks like it's going to be a late afternoon, early evening start time for the storm on Monday into Tuesday, and then possibly even one more pretty significant weather event that could be happening for next weekend. Not this weekend, but next weekend. I believe that is, if my memory is serving me, I think it's right around the 15th, somewhere in there. I'm losing track of it. No, not the 15th. But anyway, we are watching it very carefully, and we will let you know what we find out. When we find out, we'll give you plenty of heads up on that. Thanks to our sponsors, our presenting sponsors, who make it possible, bringing our morning podcast to you each and every day, Monday through Friday at 9 o'clock. We appreciate you. Central Vermont Chamber of Commerce, they're one of them. And they've got their kayak raffle that's going on right now, which is huge. That is going to be awarded to someone, I think, June 1st. But they do have tickets available. I think they're $20 for a chance to win this beautiful kayak from R&L Archery. This is year number 2, by the way, that the Central Vermont Chamber of Commerce is doing this. So get your tickets. You can get them online, or you can just stop up if you want, right there at the chamber headquarters in Berlin. And don't forget, you can also get right on their page and register for their St. Patty's Day breakfast on Friday morning, the 17th, at the Barry Elks Lodge, honoring Mark Tatro. That is going to be a fantastic morning. I can hardly wait. Central Vermont Chamber of Commerce. So we toot their horn a little bit this morning. Also, Optical Expressions can be up there in the Berlin Mall here real soon, sporting my two new pairs of glasses from Optical Expressions, and chatting with Mark Liepert and the rest of the team shortly. I can hardly wait. Last night was brisket night at the Billtown Roadhouse in Williamstown. They're going to be doing it again soon, and they have some really cool things on the horizon. Not just the Elvis night that is coming up soon. They're looking for some folks that know how to sing Elvis, but also Mark himself is going to be there. Mark Shelton performing that night. And they also have something coming up really big on April 15th, which we're not quite there yet, letting the cat out of the bag on that, but I can't wait to share it with you. It's going to be a great night in Williamstown, and I will give you details as soon as they give me the green light to do so. So be well, everyone. Take good care. God bless. Thanks for catching Aired Out.